You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Happy birthday, America. Happy Independence Day. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and on Instagram. If you want to check out and see some of Chateau and also the party that's going on downstairs, they're going to be partying all night long. You can check us out on Instagram at Mr. Mo Kelly, MrMokelly. Joining us right now is the host. You know what? I'm going to let you do this, Tiffany Hobbs, because you deserve the floor. How do you want to be introduced?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. The Viral Load with Tiffany Hobbs and the host of Saturdays with Tiffany right here on KFI.
Tiffany, it is great to be able to have you here at Chateau. This is your second year, correct?
This is my second year. I'm so upset I didn't come to anything before this. It's like it's the best party going.
Since it's the best party going, what have you partaken in? Have you got to eat? Did you get any of the desserts?
A lot of dessert, a lot of different trying of libation. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed my round at the alcohol table.
Yes, there's a whole table of
them. There are a few tables, and I think I found all of them. But yeah, I've had everything. It's been wonderful, and there's still plenty, and there's more coming. Like, it's just never ending.
The whole theme of tonight is food, family, fun, but also you have family, not necessarily biologically related, but we would do anything for each other. Mm-hmm. What does today, you can hear the kids in the background, what does today remind you of?
Oh, man, it reminds me of togetherness. You know, everything aside that could potentially taint what today is about. Right. It's at its core about being together and being with people you enjoy. And I don't have any biological family here, but everyone here is family. The people I met today for the first time are now family. At least that's what it feels like. It's that kind of climate. And so being able to take that feeling wherever you go on a day like today is really important. Just feeling just accepted and loved and having fun. And you're not thinking about anything else except that.
Growing up, I'm quite sure you have some, I'll say, very particular 4th of July memories.
Yeah.
You were kind of telling me off air. What are your memories of 4th of July?
I had a great 4th of July as a kid. We always bought the legal fireworks and enjoyed the sparklers and all that type of stuff at the fireworks stands. But in my adulthood, enjoying fireworks has been a little different. It's been a little complicated. I have my thoughts about pets and veterans and everything. And so it does complicate the matter for me. But I remember one time going to a Dodger game around 4th of July and they did the huge firework show. Right. And I was looking up at it because it was beautiful. And as I'm looking up, I see something coming right towards me. You never think anything's going to hit you from a fireworks show. But I got hit right in my eye by debris from this fireworks show
at Dodger Stadium.
At Dodger Stadium. I should own Dodger Stadium at this point. I didn't even sue. I know what I'm talking about.
How old were you?
This was like 5 years ago. I think
you were a grown-ass adult.
A grown-ass adult who should have known better. But I just decided, you know what, in that moment.
I would have had a whole section of seats named after me.
Seriously. I think the statute of limitations is still good. I think I can still be able to pursue this. But I was literally temporarily blinded for about an hour and I had to walk back to my car. That was the end of the game. So walking back to the car, everyone who's been to Dodger Stadium, you know that parking lot is absolutely nuts. Walking far back to my car, blinded.
You were parked out by the Union 76
ball.
I was
parked out behind the cheap seats, absolutely. So that was definitely a memory for me in my adulthood. Childhood was wonderful, and I still do enjoy 4th of July.
Okay, your childhood, what was that like?
Like I said, the sparklers. My mom would always buy like whatever was affordable at the time. So maybe a $20 fireworks set. You know, prices back in the 80s were a little different. But a $20 fireworks set went far. And you had everything that you could do right in your front yard or front pavement. And just sitting out there, standing out there with your hot dog or whatever it is, and you're watching it, it felt magical. And then when The Sandlot came out, the movie The Sandlot, that absolutely changed
with the Dodger tie-in as well.
Yeah, it really just amplified 4th of July for me, and it made it that much more fun. I just remember it being fun and safe, to be honest. Mm-hmm. There were some close calls. You know, you light it and you wait too long.
Oh yeah, I've had some close calls.
Hightail it out of there.
I'm blessed to have all 10 of my fingers.
Same, but we definitely, like I said, got close to losing a finger or two. Didn't happen, but that was all a part of the magic of 4th of July. The fun of it all.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to tell all your business, but you're here with someone special.
I am.
And what is the 4th of July for him?
Oh man, he and I've spoken about my fiance before, but he has a sibling close in age. I'm an only child, so mine was a little different. But for him, he has a sibling 1 year younger than he, and so he and his mother, father, and this little brother, younger brother, would do the same thing. They would buy the fireworks set. They would have fun on their block. But he always would tell me that his block was full of kids. He had a very kind of picturesque neighborhood. And as far as you could see, houses, rows of houses, and then kids everywhere. So you have kids pull up on their bicycles. Everyone's out there. And it was very Americana in that way and a lot of fun. So he talks about the neighborhood and community aspect of it being something that he remembers. For me, it was a little bit smaller because it was like my small family and like a small community. For him, it was the whole entire block.
That's what it was for me. We had block parties. And if you're not of a certain age, you don't remember what a block party was, where they would actually block off the street so no cars could drive, so all the kids could play in the street. They may have a bounce house, depending on the generation you grew up in, but you may have a band. But we had a greater sense of community in a neighborhood since, and I'm talking about the late 1970s, early 1980s. Now you don't have that. You live in neighborhoods. You may not even know who lives to your right and to your left.
You don't even see kids outside anymore.
And I don't know if that's a product of the cost of living, where it's very difficult for families or younger families to buy a house. If you have a kid, it's very difficult to buy a house.
Yeah.
And then you have these houses where these kids will grow up together. You know, you see a lot of houses and they don't have any kids because it's almost like, do you want to have a house or do you want to have a kid? Because you can't have both.
Right. And you see people trying to create community. And a lot of people obviously live in shared communal housing, apartments, condo communities, whatever it may be. And people are trying, I think, to recapture what it is to have a neighborhood, because neighborhoods are so important, and knowing your neighbors. And that's something that I grew up having. And now I'm trying to recreate it, like I'm saying. And it's hard. It is hard.
Oh, it's very difficult. I mean, I like being able to walk out of my house and I see a neighbor saying, good morning, hello, how are you? And it be reciprocated.
Yeah.
You know, if you just, a lot of places you say hi, and they look at you like, why the hell are you speaking to me?
They do. People are very isolationist. And so on a day like today, when people like walking from the car, parking for your party here at Chateau, we parked across the street in a neighborhood, and walking through the neighborhood, party after party after party, people outside on their lawns. And it's just nice to see that sort of togetherness.
It was nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too, Mo Kelly.
Host of the Viral Load Wednesday nights here on Late with Mo Kelly, and also Saturday nights with Tiffany Hobbs from 5 to 7 p.m.
And I'll be on Sunday too, filling in for Chris Merrill. I don't leave the station, apparently.
Wow.
I'm at the station all the time.
Welcome to radio.
Welcome to radio.
See, but you managed to get away. I don't know how is it you could get away and Mark Ronner couldn't get away. I don't get this.
I'm asking myself the same thing. I feel like if he had put in the effort, he would have been here. But it seems like he didn't really even try. Oh, hey, Mark, are you listening? Hey.
Oh,
hey, buddy.
At 2 from the nice load lady, I can't believe this.
Nice load lady.
Hey, buddy.
That just sounded so wrong.
That's our moniker.
Oh, we all love the Viral Load and the Viral Load lady.
Thank you.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and Instagram. We are still Instagram Live. You can see a lot of our guests and the fun that we're having. You can hear the kids in the background. It's all about food, family, and fun on this Independence Day. Happy birthday, America. We have Jackie Ray from Beyond the Box Score in just a moment when we come back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
You better get on Instagram right now at Mr. Mo Kelly, MrMokelly. You might see some things. And we're live on the iHeartRadio app. And joining us right now is our regular commentator, Jackie Ray. You know her from Jackie Ray Beyond the Box Score. Every Monday night, we talk about sports and the intersection with society. Jackie Ray, they now call you Jackie Ray Daniels, or is it Jackie Daniels?
Yes, amen.
Daniels
I love that. Praise God. Jackie Ray Daniels. Won't he do it? Amen.
So you've had 1 or 2 or 8.
Hey, you know, who's counting?
Okay, we won't count. This is your first year at Chateau Le Mo.
It is, and I'm having a fabulous time.
What did you notice about just the ambiance, the food, the desserts? What jumped out at you?
Listen, I feel like this is what 4th of July is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about friends becoming family, eating and enjoying, making friends, telling stories, planning ahead. Because in this time, I really feel like it's about coming together And this moment at Chateau has really made a lot of us be able to come together. And so thank you for that.
Colorado was where you were born and raised.
Indeed.
What was 4th of July like for you growing up?
I'm going to tell you right now, we didn't celebrate 4th of July because we wasn't free on 4th of July.
Oh.
I'm a very pro-Black family, so we didn't celebrate. We took the day off and we celebrated that we had the day off. And it was just more of a family day. And that's what this day is for me. It's more of a family day. We get to know people that we might not have known before. It's just a beautiful day to really kind of celebrate family and heritage and growing up together.
You got to see the dessert contest for the first time.
I did.
What did you think?
Listen, the woman that did not win.
That was my sister.
Supposed to win. Amen.
Well, she's won the past 2 years.
That's fine. And I get that sometimes you got to change things up for the ambiance. But she won that.
We had different judges. You're not going to get any sympathy from Tawala. He thought he was robbed 1 year or 2 years.
Okay, that's fair. I feel you. But I know what I tasted. And I had a clear winner.
Maggie was the first in line.
I was like, excuse me, get out the way.
Let me ask you this. Before you got here, we're in the world. We still acknowledge what's going on in the world.
Yes.
I sent you a story. Every time I see a story that applies to you, I send it to you immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another baseball player. We'll talk about it on Monday.
Yes.
But who's being investigated for gambling. Am I being hyperbolic if I were to say that this could continue on a trajectory which could decimate professional sports, especially baseball?
Yeah, I think that when you partner with a gambling institution and you expect your players not to gamble, it's insanity in a way. And so I think we've talked about this several times. I think we talked about the next big gambling scandal, and there's been 3 since we've talked about that. So, unfortunately, gambling it's a big money market because people like to bet. People like to see their favorite players do well. They like to bet on their favorite players, and to expect people that are in the league not to do the same thing is asinine to me.
What happens when it finally does get out of hand? I have to believe at this point, look, for everyone we know, this is the Roach theory. For everyone we know, there are 2, 3, 4 that we don't know.
Amen.
And so if there are that many others out there, if you're baseball, how do you bring this under control? Can you bring it under control? Because after a certain point, people will lose confidence in the product that they're seeing.
Yeah, I think you have to have a no tolerance policy. So while we are having a lot of investigations, I think the second you gamble, it's a full stop. There has to be a zero tolerance, because if you're trying to protect the integrity of the game, we hear players talk about, the refs felt some sort of way about this game. They impacted the game this way. And if you really want to protect the integrity of the game, you have to have a no tolerance policy. Nobody can gamble ever.
When you say nobody, does that mean just the players? I mean,
it means coaches, GMs, people who are taking trainers, nobody who is involved with the league in any way, PR people. No one can,
because we both know as writers, we have inside information. Like, for example, when I was a beat writer for the Clippers, I often knew the injury status of players
before
who the general public did.
Yeah.
I never used that in a monetary sense, but I would see how people could use it.
Right. Same. Like, even though we can't go in the locker room now, as I cover the LA Sparks, I can see nuances. I knew Odyssey Sims was going to be cut before she was cut because of the relationship between her and the coaching staff. So when you're talking about protecting the integrity of the game, it has to be a no tolerance policy. Nobody can gamble ever. And if you do, the consequences have to be swift and severe.
But let's say that's true. But then you get rid of 5, 6 players.
Yep.
And then you come across a name which could be league defining. And let me be clear, and I want to slow down here. If hypothetically that it happened where it was a very prominent baseball player like a Shohei Ohtani, hypothetically, can we trust that Major League Baseball or any of these leagues would actually do the right thing and work counter to their financial interests? I don't think so. That's ask and answer.
So I'm gonna do my best to tread lightly here, but I think the Shohei Ohtani situation is the prime example of no, you cannot, because like it or not, there is no way an interpreter, someone who interprets language for somebody, is the scapegoat in a gambling situation. But you make him the scapegoat because you want to protect your asset.
Let me put it in the form of a question. I don't know how that third party had access because it wasn't a financial manager.
Correct.
It wasn't his accountant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and the question remains unanswered for me. So I won't put you on the hot seat. I don't know how that person had access to all of his financials and would be able to move that type of money under his own say-so. And that's a question that has never been answered for me, and I don't know if it'll ever be answered.
Oh, that's easy peasy for me. Well, because if you're my friend, you're somebody that I've known for a long time.
No. Friend or not, when I call Bank of America and I want to move $1 million or however much, there usually needs to be some sort of person who's also signing off and verifying. Right. I just don't. That's what I don't understand. But I'm not accusing, but I don't understand.
I haven't moved millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? But I have moved large sums of money. And what Bank of America specifically, since we're talking about that, because I do bank with Bank of America, they require your password, some form of identification. Usually that means they have to text you a password.
Right.
And then you input that password. What can I do if I'm having an ally standing next to me that I want to do these bets for me? I'm going to get that password and I'm going to pass it on. This is a very easy thing to skirt around, which is why I say it has to be a no tolerance policy.
And I agree, but we were never told the specifics of what information was given.
And you never will, because you have to protect the asset. Shohei Ohtani is the asset. So you have to protect him. But as people who have common sense and intelligence, just know that protecting the asset means that somebody has to take the fall.
All right. And that is just one story that we've covered in the past couple of years. Since then, I can think of at least 7 or 8. Yeah. And one was an umpire. Yeah. Two were in basketball. One person was excommunicated banned for life. 3 in baseball in the past 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. And that's just what we know of. It's not if, but it's when.
Mm-hmm. And my thing is, and I'm going to fall back on this. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but why put the temptation there? When you partner with an organization that is about gambling and is about betting on specific players, and then you look to the players and you say, do as I say, not as I do. That's asinine to me. Mm-hmm. It's the partnership that professional leagues are having with gambling associations that makes no sense. You're asking for this to happen. Because people are getting money. People are getting paid off of endorsement deals. I've seen commercials from athletes about, hey, go to DraftKings and bet this.
DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks.
All that. Bet that. And so when you put players in a situation where they're not only getting paid from endorsement deals, now the light bulb goes off. I can potentially get paid off a bet as well. And it's to me, the relationship it's toxic. It makes no sense.
Jackie Ray, thanks for coming out.
It's great to be here. Have a Jack Daniels shot for me, everybody.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on Instagram and the iHeartRadio app. We'll have more from Chateau Le Mo in just a moment.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We are live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app as we continue with the birthday party. Happy birthday, America, on this Independence Day at Chateau Le Mo. It's the 5th annual live broadcast and party. And right now I'm joined in the studio by the winner of the presentation portion of the dessert competition. And I happen to know her. She's my older sister, much, much, much older, Marie O'Kelly Green. Wait, lean into that mic, bring it in there. There you go.
If we weren't live.
Well, we are, so.
I was the original Mo Kelly.
No, you're Marie O'Kelly. That's right. Not to be confused with Mo.
M-O.
Spell Marie.
Yeah, M-O Kelly.
No. Spell Marie.
M-A-R-I-E.
Thank you very much. Anyhow, sibling rivalries aside, tell us about your presentation winning dessert.
So, this last year I did the whole flag and the cake. This year I went international and did, if I can say it, Chateau Invisible à Pont, which is very thinly sliced apples, which caramelize themselves into a custard. And it is French. It's slightly sweet, served with homemade ice cream, and a caramel drizzle.
Wasn't there like some Jack Daniels in there
A
somewhere?
little bit of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
A little bit of Jack Daniels, just to give it a little kick.
How do you research a potential entry into the contest? In other words, you sit down and just start scrolling the internet, or do you have an idea of a type of dish that you would like to do?
You just sit down and try to find some inspiration. And so internet, TikTok, magazines. But I did know that I wanted to do something with apples this year. I had an apple thing. So I tried an upside down apple cake. I tried this French apple dish. It was going to be apples for sure.
But when you experiment, are you cooking a dish 4 or 5 times to see if...
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. That many times.
So I'd cook it, and I call them focus groups. I have groups that will test and you adjust the recipes, make it a little less sweet, a little more sweet, cook a little longer. So I think this version was cooked at least 3 times before we came up with the final recipe.
I'll ask you this because I don't know the exact answer. I talked about it when our father passed, but our father had this sweet potato pie recipe.
Yes.
That he refused to tell anyone. It was given to him by his mother. And he said while he was living that he would never give it to anyone. He said literally that he's going to take it to his grave with him. But somewhere along the way, you managed to cajole him or convince him. But you have it.
I have it.
I say that as a lead-in because I expected one year that was going to be one of your entries. Have you ever considered it?
So while you may have the recipe, there is a technique. When you season with your heart, when you bake, not because it says to bake it for an hour, but just because you know that it's done, that part he left this earth with. Mm-hmm. And so I've tried it, but I have not been able to duplicate the touch that he had on those sweet potato pies.
There's an oral tradition of many recipes, especially in our family. And you have also a banana pudding recipe that was passed down indirectly. I say that it's like you found it.
Yes. From
our mother's mother. Tell the story behind that.
So when my husband and I purchased the home that we live in now, we were unpacking boxes, and we were going to host the family Thanksgiving dinner. And so I was preparing for the family Thanksgiving dinner, and in the garage, among all of these moving boxes, was this empty box with one piece of paper in it. And that piece of paper was my grandmother's banana pudding recipe. I took that as an absolute sign that this was the recipe that I should make. And it is the recipe that I have made for the past 20 years. And so it wasn't passed down orally, but she definitely from the heavens made sure that I knew which banana pudding recipe I was to make.
How often do you think of the people who might have inspired those dishes? The banana pudding, do you think of Nana?
All the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. I think of my maternal grandmother because she was the collector of recipes. I think of my paternal grandmother because she was in the lab, as I say, with me. We would bake together. We would make cakes together. She taught me how to make chocolate icing from scratch with her hands. And so I think of them often because I know that that's where I get the love of baking and then the love of knowledge of baking.
Why is baking, or I should say, how did baking become so important or such a joy?
I don't know that I could pinpoint what it was or when it was, but there is definitely, kind of a sense of being in the lab, of enjoying mixing and matching and tasting and creating. Cooking and baking are very creative pastimes. And as long as I don't eat everything I bake, it's all good. But I think that watching my father bake and cook and watching my grandparents bake and cook, I feel like it's in the blood.
That's the point I was all leading to, because there's something about paying an homage to the ancestors who may not be physically here, but they're ever present. Is that fair?
Always, yes. They're ever present in the traditions we have. They're ever present in the things that we eat, that we like to eat. And so I think it's always a great opportunity to remember them when we gather, when we are taking little bits of their baking, their cooking. When you pour a little bit of that Jack Daniels in the caramel sauce, that is an homage, to
our dad,
to my father.
Yep.
And so it is a chance to remember them, and I think it was the movie Coco when they talked about recuérdeme.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, it's always a good opportunity to remember them in something as simple as a baked good, a caramel sauce, a 4th of July dish.
Before I let you go, 4th of July memories as a child.
The parade, absolutely.
I talked about the parade, yeah.
We also did a number of 4th of Julys at the Los Alamitos Joint Training Base.
That's right.
And so those are always good memories. And it's especially when you have children, because it's a very safe atmosphere. The kids could go and play and see the paratroopers and all of those kinds of fun things, but safe, even though it was a very large large event. But I'm a fireworks girl, right? So I love fireworks, yes, to see them throughout the city, but I also love being in the midst of a very well choreographed fireworks show. Mm-hmm. And for me, Betts Stadium in Long Beach had a phenomenal show that I miss. And so being able to go to Betts Stadium and see that fireworks show presentation always made my heart flutter.
Maria Kelly Green, recently retired, longtime civil servant with the LA airports. I talk about you all the time, and I always talk about you in this way. If y'all knew, if y'all knew some of the stories that she would tell me about flying and give us one story or one truism that people would not know about what goes on in the airline industry.
Flying is the safest way to travel.
No, I don't want to hear that one. I don't want to hear that one.
But I must tell you, for every bit of news that you get, there are 1,000 stories similar that just don't make the headline. It depends on who's plucking the news at that time.
Give me an example. Obviously, change the names to protect the guilty.
So a little while back, there was an incursion. 2 planes were in the same space when they shouldn't have been. Mm-hmm. And it made the news, because there were a number of incidents that were happening in rapid succession. And I think I shared with you, that's just Tuesday. It's just that Channel 4 didn't pick it up. But it is still safe. And the reason that it is an incursion and not an accident is because people are doing their job. It doesn't mean that there won't be things that don't go exactly as planned, but the safe outcome is as a result of thousands and thousands of people doing a great job every day. And if I can, since you let me in, mm-hmm. A shout out to civil servants. This is a very difficult time for people who have given their careers to public service, whether it's in the military, whether it's local government, whether it's federal employees. And so I would be remiss if I did not thank all of my fellow civil servants for the work that they still do, even when they don't know if they're going to have a job tomorrow, even if they don't know whether or not their programs may be cut due to a new budget. And so, but those people are showing up every day. They are cleaning those runways at the airport so that there's no debris. They are in the air traffic control towers, making sure that planes land safely. So shout out to people who are public servants. You are appreciated, even if somebody doesn't tell you that every day.
Maria Kelly Green. Some might call her my older sister. I just call her Peaches. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Coming to you live from Chateau Limo. Happy birthday, America. Independence Day. 4th of July. 5th annual Chateau Limo live broadcast. And the kids are running wild. I don't know what happened in the last segment. All I know is that Kyrene, one of my younger cousins, got hold of the Instagram Live phone and was running around the house.
We have no idea what she was shooting.
I don't know what she was shooting. I don't know what she said. I don't know what people saw. Let me just say, I'm sorry. Whatever she did, I'm sorry.
They're probably like, what's up with Daniel? Is he drunk? Why is he so low to the ground? What is going on?
Who is this 6-year-old's voice you keep hearing? And I will go back and watch the live tomorrow and see what actually happened. But let me just apologize in advance. I love my little cousin, but she's a terror. She's a spawn of she's probably named Damien.
Damn. Oh, Lord.
She might have like this insignia in her head, like 666. I love her, but she's a lot. She's a lot.
I love it.
Well, speaking of kids, Swallow, I got to tell this story because your daughter and her best friend, a little bit older, but still not grown.
Yeah.
They were going to go up and see the fireworks, which starts around 9:00.
Yes, sir.
And each year you've been here, it gets cold up there.
Very cold.
Okay. And your daughter's wearing a little half shirt. Yes. And her friend is wearing some like little Daisy Dukes and,
shirt.
Yeah. It's going to be cold.
Very.
You recommended that they get a jacket or
several
something.
times. Get a sweater, get a jacket. No, and I kept saying, no. It's going to be really, really cold. It's not going to be a little bit cold. It's going to be very cold. They both looked at me stone cold. We'll be all right. I'm like, okay. Another lesson learned. That's what's about to happen. That's what's about to go down.
Because they're too concerned with trying to be cute.
Yeah.
Because they may see a boy or something.
They don't want to mess up the fit. Yes. They're trying to be up there and be seen with the fireworks. I
get it, because if you obviously haven't been to my house, but we have a park area where everyone, and it's elevated, so everyone goes up there and watch the fireworks. It's a 360-degree panoramic view, and you can see the fireworks all going around Southern California and South Bay area, as far south as San Pedro, as far north as like Glendale, Pasadena. You can see it all. So it's a good vantage point. But there are, I'll say, dozens and dozens of people up there.
Yeah.
A lot of young people.
It's a nice vibe up there. We're seeing more and more young people gathering up there. It's become a little hot spot, a little lookout mountain, if you will.
Yes.
And young people want to be seen. They didn't dress up to cover that up with blankets and such.
No.
They're not grown enough to know, like your sister said, if I had my other car with me, I'd have a blanket on top of a sweater and a jacket.
Yes.
I know better than to go up there the way they were dressed, because no.
I can't say I was any better. I can't say I was any smarter. Not that, it's just one of those things that everything at that age. Nobody can tell you nothing, okay? And then you get up there and you realize, it is kind of cold up here. But you're not going to admit that. You're not going to admit that. And they're going to come back to the house and they'll say, no, we were fine. No, it's cold as hell up there. Yeah. It is. I know it's the summer, but it gets cold at 9:00 with the wind. But we're only like maybe 8 miles from Dockwaller Beach. Okay, that breeze that you feel out there is from the ocean water.
Oh yeah,
and it's gonna be cold.
They're gonna look. They'll regret it, but it will be a memory. And this is my daughter's first time bringing a friend with her here, and they both chose coming. They were like, of all the things that they had on their list, this was the most fun option that they had. So they said, we got to come here. We got to do this. And my daughter was telling her friend, like, you've got to see, you've never seen a fireworks show like this before.
True.
This is absolutely crazy. I promise you're not going to regret it. This is going to be amazing. They've been having like the time of their life here so far. Like they gravitate to all the kids downstairs.
We have a lot of kids this year. A lot of kids.
A lot. Yeah.
And when I'm saying kids, we're talking like between 3 and 8.
Yes. Yes. A lot of little kids showing up, and they're going to have a fun time too. Everyone that gets to go up there is going to have a ball. I cannot wait to see what we do get to see. One thing that I'm really tripping off, and I was talking about this last night as I filled in for you, that being out here the last time we were here, it was second only to a war zone in terms of the ordinance, not firecrackers.
Yeah.
Actual ordinance. We're here going off.
Stick of dynamite and stuff.
Car alarms ring.
Yeah.
I've only heard like the occasional boom at a distance. I have not heard nearly an ounce of what I'm used to. I'm like, are there drones out there? Are police patrolling the area? Did all of the threats from the various organizations work?
Don't know, but there's been a decided difference as far as the amount of fireworks that I've heard and seen. And not only that, the duration. Usually, if living in this area, they would start off in April.
Yeah.
No exaggeration. And they'll go to August, sometimes September. You would hear it, especially the bottle rockets. You don't hear that this year. I don't know if there's a causal relationship with what's been going on in the news on a lot of levels, but it sounds very different. And if fewer people get hurt, I'm good with it. I don't need all of that bombardment or barrage of fireworks. I don't need that, but it's a noticeable difference. And maybe in the coming days or weeks, we'll get a better sense of the why for the difference.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. I'm not mad at it. And I was praying for a calm 4th of July and there being less destructive fireworks out and about. I mean, just yesterday, they're still cleaning up the madness from that firework factory that exploded. They're still searching for people and victims and all that. So this is a good sign. And hopefully everyone will start investing in drone fireworks shows.
Yes.
I highly encourage anyone who is doing a live fireworks show, any city who's doing a show, invest in drone fireworks. Much safer for the community, for pets,
the insurance
for
has got to be
veterans,
less.
the insurance, everything. It's got to be cheaper. You can do that year after year, reprogram the drones. Every city in Southern California, invest in drone fireworks shows, please.
In the meantime, since we don't have a drone show to look at right now, we're going to have to look at the conventional fireworks. So we're going to take a quick break, and in this hour, we're going to end the Instagram Live. If you haven't seen it, it will still be there for you to catch up on. Right now, I'm going to run up the hill real quick, check out some fireworks, and we'll be right back in about 6-7 minutes or so. It's Later with Mo Kelly. Happy birthday, America. KFI AM 640, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.